Hi, welcome to this video on numbers, cells, and range formatting. In this video, we'll be looking at how to format numbers and how to format currencies as well as percentages and formatting of cells as text. We'll also look at how to format dates in your worksheet, and then we'll look at how to format cells using different colors as well as changing the font types and sizes. Now let's look at this data we have here. We have names and date of birth. Now date of birth, this means that we're going to format these cells here as dates. We have sales here. Sales are values, so we'll be formatting the column C as numbers. Here we have percentage contribution, which means we format these particular cells as percentage. Now if you enter a particular number, let's say we enter a date here. Date of birth for John, 12th of May, let's say 1979. Now you can change this date format. So how do you change your date format? You click on your home tab, come to your number group and click here. Now you see a lot of formatting you can do here, and we're talking about date, so we select date, and this is the particular date format. If we want this date format, you select this, which is going to be the month, and then the date, the month written in full, and then the year of birth. So you select this. Now, having done that, you find out that the date format has changed. So if you enter another date format, let's say 10 of March 1980, see, they are not the same date format. So all you do is either you highlight the whole of this and format once, or haven't highlighted this. Remember, we have a group called the clipboard, and here you have the format painter. Now what the format painter does is that it takes the features of one cell into other cells. So I click on the format painter and it follows me like a brush, meaning that I'm going to take the features of this cell and highlight around all this. Now every other data I'm going to enter here will take the same format. So I can just take 10th of August 1977. You see, it follows that date format. Now for sales, let's assume we're entering numbers like 4,000, 1, 2, 3, 3,500, 8,000. Now you see these numbers are not well done. They need to be formatted with a comma separator. So you highlight the whole of that column that have sales. Now if you come to this number format, you will see the comma separator here. If you click this, it will bring in the separator. So for numbers, the easiest way is to just come here and click this. It will turn it to comma separator with 2 decimal places. Alternatively, you can click on the dialog launcher and come to number. And when you come to number, you see here decimal places 2. You can reduce this to 0, assuming you don't want any decimal place. If you want into 2 decimal places, you can increase this. Now we want a 1,000 separator, so you check this. Now click OK. Now because I've highlighted the whole of the subsequent numbers, we automatically have that comma separator with 2 decimal places. Now if you want to reduce decimal places, like I said earlier, you can come here, you see decrease decimal. So I click on this, it's now 1 decimal place. I click on this, it's now 0 decimal places, and I can increase using this particular place. Now percentage contribution. Let's assume we have only this 4, and then the total here. Let me take out this name or enter other dates here to complete this. And then I have another one here. Okay, so let me put another figure here, say 5,000. Okay, now the total of this is the summation of this, which is going to give me 27,000. Now the percentage contribution of this John is going to be 4,000 all over this. So I'm going to say 4,000 equal to 4,000 divided by this, and I press OK. Now it's showing me 0 because I have not formatted that. Now I want to be formatted as a percentage. I can either come here and click on this percentage style, or I move back to a dialog launcher and I take percentage. Now under percentage, I can see number of decimal places. If I want it to be 2, I just move this to 2 decimal places and I click OK. So I have 14.8% of this contributed by John. Now, if I come here, I do the same thing here, divide by this. Now you see the whole thing is coming to 0. So what I do is to highlight the whole place and I format as a percentage. Okay, now I have this. So subsequent ones I don't need to format again. I just do this and I press enter. Do this. I press enter. This and I press enter. So that's how to format as that. Now bonus amount. Assuming for each of these guys you have a bonus amount of 1,000. Now I have here 1,500. Let's assume this amount goes for the rest of them. Now, because this is currency, you might decide to put the currency as part of your heading and format these ones as numbers, or you format the whole of this as the currency of your choice. So I select this and I go straight to currency. Now, if I click on currency, I'll see symbol here. Assuming I'm working on the US dollar, I can take U and I search for USD. This is USD, which is the US dollar, and I click OK. Now you see everything will be having USD. Now if I type 5,000, it's going to give me 5,000 USD. So depending on the currency you're working on. If I'm working on the Nigerian Naira, I click this, take currency, I go to this place and I select Nigerian Naira, it's NGN. So I look for NGN. This is NGN for Nigerian Naira and I click OK. Now every other thing gives me Nigerian Naira. Now for telephone, our telephone number, so GSM usually start with 0. And if you write 080 whatever, you find out that the first 0 goes off. That's because your system is seeing it as a number. Now to take that 0, you reformat the cells as a test so that the system will see it as a test. Now you click this. So each time you're entering numbers beginning from 0 and they are not numbers you need to use for arithmetic operations, format them as test. I click on test and I take OK. Now this way I can now type in my 0 number. Now at the end of this, I'm going to notice that I have a small green pouch at the end of each of those alphabets. That's not a problem. Highlight the whole of this, click on the dot there and take ignore error. The moment you take that, all those green parts will go while your 0 remains. Those are basically how to align or format your cells. Now if I'm formatting a cell to have different color, I can highlight that particular location, come down to the group called font and I select a fill color. Any of these colors I select, you see it changing. I can change this. Now by default you write with a black font and I can change that. If I want to write with red, I highlight the whole of this. I want to write everything here to be red. I go to the and I select red. So if I pick on red, whatever I'm going to type here will appear in red color. That's how to format using the color of the font or the background color, which is the cell color. Let me go back to this and see what we've left out. Now we've done the testing, the date, types of font and the sizes, different color. Okay, we need to still mention that fonts can change according to sizes. Now I have here, if you click on this, you see that this is on Calibri. You can select any type of font, just clicking the drop down here and you see various fonts that you can select. Now I have this on 11. I can also change this to higher values, either 12, 14, and that will make my font size to be bigger. Thank you very much for listening. In other videos we'll see much more of what Excel can do. Bye bye.